Good evening, my friends, and welcome to the next Myst stream. realMyst, to be more precise. Today is an auspicious day. It is probably the day that will go down in history as the world's fastest selling game goes and crashes the world's largest game marketplace. But I do want to thank all of you for coming along live, for tearing yourselves away from Silksong and and coming and enjoying this retro nostalgia stream with us. As for me, yeah, I've got my copy of Silksong already. I haven't played it yet. That's been installed on the Switch downstairs, and my wife is probably going to be playing that this evening. So that's I believe that's her plan for the evening anyway. But yeah. I mean, as with everyone else, I'm incredibly excited to play it. It's got something like 500,000 concurrent players playing it right now already, which for an indie game is unheard of. Sorry, let me just quickly adjust my camera slightly, because it's a little bit high. That's a little better. As for us, though, we are exploring Selenetic. Before we continue, though, we have to announce the poll, right? We are going to be coming to the end of our Myst playthrough very soon, right? After realMyst, we are going to go back and we are going to do a regular Myst Masterpiece edition, the official point and click. Selenetic, that's what I said, isn't it? Selenetic? I don't know. I have no idea how that's pronounced. I didn't even realise it's a real word until quite recently. And so we have to decide what we're going to play next, because we've been streaming Myst and all of the Myst sequels for like 2 years, and we need to make a decision as to what we're going to stream next. It's an important decision, and so the suggestions that people have been making over the last week, I've been collating together, I've been reviewing all the suggestions, and I've picked my favourite 6 suggestions that I think would make the most entertaining stream. And those are available to be voted on in 2 places. You can vote on it in the Discord, and you can vote on it on the Patreon. You don't have to be a paid Patreon member. Free Patreon members can also cast the vote. That's absolutely fine. And there's also multiple choice as well. So feel free to vote in both places, and feel free to vote for more than one thing. With that being said... Oh, and we'll close that vote in like a week, let's say. Let's get on with Selenetic, shall we? We've opened the code right here, so I think we can now go back, and I think we can go access this building next, if I recall correctly. In the chat today, we've got Spiper, hello to you. Oh, we don't actually need the lights to be turned on. We've got Spiper. We have Trank0007, hello to you. We've got DNAngel37, who has subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the Prime subscription. That is most appreciated. We have got Shroomfi. I almost didn't see you there. And we have Jaffrus. Hello. And then over on the YouTube, we have Pencils and Stories, Nostalgic Feeling Sounds. And we have James Moores. Welcome to the 2 of you. Welcome. Was that broken before? Wait a minute. Okay. Is there more to this than I remember? Or do you just put the code in and then the door opens? Oh no. There is more to this than I remember. Wait. Right, so we've got a 5 sound code. So what order are those sounds supposed to be in? Are they in the same order as they are in the main pillar over there? That would make sense. I don't remember what that is, though. How am I enjoying this version compared to the 2021? It's a little bit strange with, like, how large the hand is, right? And the turning controls sort of feel a little off. But I don't know if that's just because it's old and sometimes the turning is a little bit weird on these old games, especially when you're playing them in windowed mode, because they can't really dock the mouse cursor properly all the time. But broadly speaking, aside from those, I'm actually really surprised how much like the 2021, I think it's 2021, right? The remake. It feels very, very similar, which I'm sort of surprised by. Like, going into this one, I didn't actually even realise this one had free movement. I thought this one was going to be pointed. Rude. Right, okay, so it's water, fire, air, water, heart? Something like that? No. Water, fire, clock, panpipes, and wind. You are absolutely right, Shroom5. Right-clicking toggles the cursor on and off. So when you right-click, you actually lock yourself... Ah, game changer. Game changer. We've been playing this for like 4 hours so far. I didn't realise that. That is much nicer. That is much nicer. So what I have been doing up to this point is I've been clicking, kind of like Uru, I've been clicking the right mouse button and moving around like that. Like I've been clicking and holding the right button. But no, that's actually way nicer. Thank you. PWJB is here. What a time to have a router disconnect. Anyway, good evening. James Moore says, that code thing sounds like one of those noise boxes used in ghost hunting nonsense. Do you know what I played the other day that was like absolutely just a massive culture shock after all this time, right? I'm thinking about like walking the walk across this sand dune here. I fired up Counter-Strike for the first time in a long time. I guess they're up to, what is it? Is it now Counter-Strike 2 or is it Counter-Strike Global Offensive 2? I don't remember what the latest one is called. The one that basically, you know, the latest one, the live one. And it is so unusual to me to be holding shift to walk rather than holding shift to run. I'm like, oh no! I kept holding shift expecting it to make me sprint and then I'm just like dawdling along. That sounds about right. Yep. Then we had... Wait, hang on, what was the third one? Fourth one was the crystal, right? Clock. That sounds like a really struggling clock, to be honest. Okay. And then that's the wind. Beep! Did that not do it? Maybe that's not the clock. Jaffra says we think we still need to do the tier list idea. Oh no. Oh no. It's all gone a bit Pete Tong. Wait a minute. Where's the... Yeah. It's a real struggling clock. It's a struggling clock. That's got to be it, right? And then we had the pan pipes. Or does it need to be in order of the numbers from smallest to largest? That's also possible. Right, so rather than it being just left to right, I'd have thought it would just be left to right though. That's not doing anything. So maybe let's do it the order of the numbers. So crystal, then it's going to be the struggling clock, then it will be that one, the fire, then the water, and then the wind. Oh no. Oh no. Something's gone very wrong. Oh, wait. Huh? Is that button important? And do the other sound generating things have similar buttons? Oh, they do. So what does the button do? Well, that'll just turn on the sound, like, thingy device, right? I would have thought they need to be on rather than off. So if I turn those three off, like the objects themselves still make the sound, right? Yeah, like we can come around here. But anyway, let's go down here. I will admit, I thought getting into that room was going to be a bit more straightforward. Right, so these are now off, right? I'm not sure it would make sense for those to need to be turned off to make the lock work, would it? I mean, we can try it, of course, because I mean, it's a pretty low stakes conspiracy theory. Like, all that would need to happen is we go bonk on you. But I'm pretty sure we had to go around and turn these on previously. So we've turned all of those off. We haven't turned the water one off yet, though. But yes, once we're in here, I'm pretty sure we're just riding the monorail for the rest of the this adventure, anyway. Okay. If I were to return it the opposite way round, it would be down there. Panpipes are there. Fire there. This one's the struggling clock. And then that one's the wind. I've done something. I've done something stupid, haven't I? I've done something stupid. Like I've misremembered the order. Or something like that. Something really basic. I'm sure these must need to be on rather than off. Surely. Because you've got to go around and turn all of them on to get it to give you any of the sounds at all to begin with. It would be really weird if you then had to go around and turn them all off again. So let's turn these back on. So, I'm really late to the party with this one. Oh, there's the red page. We've got to remember that. I'm really late to the party with this one, but this week I saw K-pop Demon Hunters for the first time. Which is having enough impact on the social zeitgeist that my 3-year-old came back from nursery today saying that she'd been playing K-pop Demon Hunters at nursery, which is very unusual because she's never seen the film, obviously. Yeah, she calls it popcorn Demon Hunters though, which is kind of adorable. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. The songs are pretty great. The songs especially are great. Do you know what? It's actually giving us, it's going round them in a different order as well, isn't it? Right? Because actually, if you listen to the sounds, it is panpipes, water, wind, fire, clock. 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 When I was studying for my last set of exams, I had literally hundreds of acronyms to memorize, and what I used to do was I would record myself. I would take like a YouTube, usually like a techno remix or something, and what was it? Panpipes, water, wind, fire, clock. Okay. I would take a recording of myself going through the acronym. Yeah, we got it. Take a recording of myself going through the acronym and put it to like some kind of very, very repetitive beat. Usually, it was like Gourmet Race, which is amazing. Techno remixes of Gourmet Race, or Castlevania, the Simon Belmont's theme tune. And then I would go down to the gym and I would just spend like half an hour on a cross trainer just listening to my own voice repeating to me the acronym definitions and stuff. That was one of the ways that I got through my last set of exams. K-pop isn't really your genre. K-pop is just more of a like, there is definitely clearly like some cultural aspects to it, but it's mostly just a backdrop. It's about three demon hunters that defeat demons through the power of song. The fact that it's K-pop is kind of, I don't really think it's terribly here nor there. Like, I guess that it's more like a submarine, this one, isn't it? I mean, I guess the songs themselves are K-pop songs. To be honest, I don't really know enough K-pop to know. The songs are pretty good, though. The songs are pretty good. And for a musical about defeating demons through the power of song, it doesn't really have that many songs in it. It's only got like 4 songs in it or something. But yeah. But it is a musical, I suppose, technically. But then again, I don't really mind a good musical. Like, I actually thought The Greatest Showman was alright. Beep. Oh, forward, backtrack. And with a little compass. Okay. Bing. Laurie Sands in the chat. My friends with girls made me watch K-pop Demon Hunters. Loved it, but my tween boys, for some reason, are disinterested. To be fair, your tween boys need to learn there's nothing more performative than a man who loves musical theatre. And we've got Rico1994 in the chat. Thank you! Says, I like your videos. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Whoosh! Are there any singing cats in it? Ah, that'd be a reference to the musical Cats. I didn't actually see that one. Do you know what? I've never seen Cats. I've never been like the biggest fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber, to be honest. I like Phantom of the Opera. I think Phantom of the Opera is probably the best thing he's ever written. Okay, that was more like a... Wait, hang on. Is that a blurp? I think that's a blurp, which means we need to go west. That's definitely a blurp. Laurie Sand says, I'll let them know you recommend it. Yeah, yeah. What would I say is the most accessible musical? The most accessible musical for a young man who is not interested in musicals. Oh, Talaxu Ixion has gifted 7 subs. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's incredibly generous. Thank you. That's more a Bing, so we'll head to the north here. It bothered you being at 12, now you're at an even 20. Feels a lot better. Wow. Do you also? How do people feel about volume controls? Right, because if your volume control is a because I find one thing that I find really weird, right, is in Windows 10, if I hit volume up and volume down in Windows 10, it only goes up in increments of 2. And I'm like, what's the point of having a scale from 0 to 100 if I can only go up in increments of 2? You might as well make it 50, right? But yeah, nice even numbers. Thank you very much, Talaxuixian. DN Angel says, I haven't watched Demon Hunters because I always had a thing to stay away from really well-known... Oh, hang on, stay away from all the really well-known anime. Since all the one you watched that became popular got super long and drawn out. Well, it's a movie rather than a show. And it's less than, I think it's less than 90 minutes, or it might be just a touch over 90 minutes, including the credits. That's another whoosh, so we'll go forward again. So it moves at a fair clip, and like, I don't know, I mean, maybe it'll get sequels one day. I hope you guys don't mind being on the small screen at the moment, because I'm looking at this more anyway. That's a tin can ding. Yeah, Trank says 0007. Trank 0007 says Les Mis is fairly accessible. Do you know what? I would actually be inclined to agree. I was thinking Les Mis as well, like, because Les Mis also has very strong, like, class. It's got very strong themes about class and war and struggle, and it's very kind of relatable, and the songs are pretty much wall-to-wall bangers. So yeah, I might be tempted to go Les Mis. I might be tempted to go Les Mis. Oh wow! Hang on. Something's happened with all my notifications. I've got like streams coming down on my chat. For the hype train, 5 more tier 1 subs. Oh, thank you very much. Giving a total of 24 in the channel. Oh, that's incredibly generous. Thank you. That's a blurb. No, wait, hang on. No, that's a blurb tin can. That's a tin can blurb. So that means we need to go southwest. Nope, not southeast. That's the trap. Oh dear. 1, you were out by 1. Oh no. Well, thank you very much for the 25th gifted sub. Pencils and Story says, young me drew so many maps of this area, just didn't get the sounds. Do you know what? If we go back far enough in time, we might actually find the original map that I drew. It's going to be somewhere around here. Okay, there's Abduction. Oh no, that's Riven down there. I recognise that map for sure. So, Myst must be in here somewhere. No, that's Quern. And that's Taiji. Ah, maybe I deleted it. Yeah, because this is all Zelda stuff. Pretty sure that's all Zelda. So, yeah, might not have it anymore. That might have been from the days where I wasn't saving. That might have been from the days where I wasn't saving all of my stuff. Oh, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Beep. Right, that's just a blurb, so we need west. Let's go. 5 times 5 is an incredibly compelling number. That is true. That is true. Oh, that's a Bing blurb, so that's northwest now. Love me some Duckney. Pencils and Stories says Cats has great music, but the story is kind of meh. I'm trying to think. What's the one? The one with sunrise, sunset in it. That might be Fiddler on the Roof. Not sure that's... yeah. I would go with Les Mis. Let's go with the safe option. Yeah? Les Mis, that's probably your gateway. That's probably your entry point. That's, you know, that's of course if you can't convince them to watch something like Greatest Showman. My biggest criticism of the Greatest Showman, and this is not a unique criticism, so I'm gonna I'm gonna lampshade this by saying that far more well-known and popular people, specifically Jenny Nicholson, made exactly the same observation, because Jenny Nicholson has reviewed like loads of different musical theatre productions and movie musicals. Yeah, my biggest criticism of The Greatest Showman is that the songs are fairly generic. Like, they don't really advance the plot. The songs are designed for your Spotify playlist. They're designed to be fairly generic songs about finding yourself or taking a chance or going in the right direction, or, you know, you kind of know what I mean. It's like none of them are things like like in Tosca, which I realise is an opera, not a musical, and I only saw Tosca. I've only seen like an English translation of Tosca. I've never seen it in Italian, but like there's this line in Tosca where like then they're singing it and they're like, take a seat, I'd rather stand, suit yourself. And it's like so it's very sort of oh, I got mood on my choo choo emote. Choo choo mood. That's a Bing whoosh, so that is northwest again, right? No, what? That's got to be a Bing whoosh. No, sorry, Bing whoosh is northeast, northeast, northeast. Okay. Here we go. James Moore suggests, says, better than my first thought of Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Yeah, like the, actually, I mean, the Johnny Depp movie is kind of polarizing. You either really get on with it or not. If your kids like that sort of Tim Burton aesthetic, the problem is, for tween boys, I'm not sure if Johnny Depp is as much of a draw as he used to be. I'm not really sure Tim Burton's as much of a draw as he used to be as back in my day. That's just a Bing. Because, yeah, like, when I was growing up, like, if Tim Burton came out with a new thing, you went and saw it, right? It didn't matter if it was a musical or not. Tim Burton's always done musicals, right? Like, Nightmare Before Christmas is a musical. Nightmare Before Christmas or Corpse Bride, that might actually be your in to get your tween boys liking musicals. Obviously, it's not musical theatre. It's a musical well, movie, I suppose. That's like a whoosh tin can, so that's southeast. As far as the other one that I've been watching... Oh, finish the maze puzzle in Selenetic without pressing backtrack. There we go, nice. The other one, I mean, your boys might be a bit old for this one now, but the one I've been kind of doing with my girls is, as far as musical movies go, is Mary Poppins, right? I mean, like, basically you can't ever really go wrong with Disney anyway, right, for great musicals. And there have been some really good ones recently. Like Encanto, I think, has a really good density. Part of the problem with Disney movies is you often get like one or two really good songs. I'm not sure how to stop that notification now. It happened because I went to my notebook and back, so it's kind of the notification kind of then needs to catch up again. Don't worry, it'll finish in a minute. Disney movies often will have like one or two really big headline songs, and the rest of it will be kind of like a bit medium, maybe. But Encanto has a really good density of good songs. But the one I've been watching with my girls recently, which is like, oh my god, this is actually like, it's pretty much banger after banger, like absolutely iconic song after iconic song. Mary Poppins totally holds up, despite the fact it's nearly like 100 years old now, or something. Mary Poppins is great, and my kids ask for Mary Poppins on the TV, like, a lot. And that's good, because that's like... and that's good because that's like not a horrendous kind of attention grab fest. Like we watched the Super Mario Brothers movie recently, and the whole thing is edited like a set of TikToks, like back to back to back to back to back for like 2 hours, and it's just it's a difficult watch. I found that movie.
All I ask of you, it's so long since my brother Cirrus wrongfully imprisoned me within this book. Stupid schemes. Pretty speech has been greed, which is endless. It should be perfectly obvious to you. He's done evil and he has destroyed all before. Do not bring the red pages to him. Not let him trick you. He believed you. He tricked our father. Hideously murdered our father. He'll trick you. He'll murder you.
Pencils and Stories says Rand's Akinar will never get old. I genuinely find it difficult picturing that as being Rand Miller, you know? But yeah. Pencils and Stories has to head off. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Pages are my only hope. You must help me. You must help me.
Okay, right. We can go back to Selenetic now and get the red page next. Oh, no, that is... Oh, no. Definitely do not press the X. The X is quit. Oh, that was nearly disastrous. Right. Let's get back to Selenetic and grab that red page. James says, if we're willing to relax definitions a little... ADBC, which is I've not heard of that one. Oh, I get a I get a notification there. I got an achievement saying solve the Selenetic puzzle first try. That seems like a bit of a cheat, because we already solved it previously. Maybe first try, like, as of today. First try today. James also points out that Nightmare Before Christmas is not Tim Burton. Yes, you are quite right. It's... Tim Burton was the producer, was he? Or was he the character designer? Actually, has anyone seen Black Cauldron? I've never caught that, but it's one of the Disney animations from like the 80s. Tim Burton was one of the animators on there. It's kind of one of those movies which is a bit of a historical curiosity now, but I've never actually seen it. Bing! Oh wait, no, we need to get the red page! What are we doing? We need the red page! Oh yes, Spiper just pointed that out. Did we get the red page? No, we did not. Oh dear. One of Shroom5's favourite musicals was Fiddler on the Roof. I do agree. Oh, I missed who said it, but someone said the problem with musical theatre is whether you have a decent theatre close enough to you. And that is true. I mean, I used to live close to London. London. So, you know, shoot, hang on, how does the song go? There's the name's London. From, you know, the one from the Tim Burton movie. The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Johnny Depp's accent in that is brilliant. I love a good, bad English accent, right? Like, for example, Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins, which is kind of great because Dick Van Dyke is in fact English, I think, right? But he's not Cockney, and so he's putting the accent on, and it's kind of hilarious. But it's like bad good, you know, good bad. Yes, but having a decent theatre near. Yeah, I mean, I used to live close to London, and I'd sort of drive. As I've got older, I appreciate living in the country more, but there are things you have to give up as a result of that. But to be honest, I think as long as you're willing to suspend your disbelief to a higher degree... Yeah, that's just a blurb. As long as you're willing to suspend your disbelief to a higher degree, it's absolutely fine. Like, you probably won't find very many theatrical productions outside of the West End that, like, truly wow and dazzle you. But, you know, it's part of the price you pay for living in an affordable location more than anything else, right? Now, I quite like living in the country. I like the... so I live in a tiny village of, like, you know, a couple of thousand people. And it's... that's a whoosh. And genuinely, it's like... It's such a different vibe to where I lived previously was incredibly anonymous. Like, incredibly anonymous, which is pretty much the default experience that most people have nowadays, because most people live in cities, right? Or they live in urban areas, or at least suburban areas. That's another whoosh. Whereas living out in the country, in a village of like a couple thousand people, it's like when you go to like the village fair, you just meet people you know there. And there are like these events where everyone in the village just kind of goes to them. Like the village fair is like a once a year event, and like basically everyone goes. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of a bit odd if you don't go to the village fair, because it's like the biggest event of the year in the village. So it's kind of like, you know, it's just a very different kind of, it's a very different culture than living in a urban or suburban setting, I think. That is a tin can. Isn't everywhere in the UK close to London? That, my friend, is a matter of perspective. Yes. I mean, to be fair, I don't really, in the grand scheme of things, I do not live that far from the centre of London. Like, I can drive to the centre of London from here in about 3 hours, depending on traffic. You know, like, a train is faster. But yeah, it's not. But you are absolutely right. Everywhere, it's kind of a little bit like saying, you know, is everywhere in the UK close to the beach? To which the answer is yes. Like, the furthest you can possibly be from the coast whilst being on the Isle of Great Britain is around about 80 miles or so. Like, so you're never more than about an hour and a half from the coast at most. That's just a tin can again. Yeah, DN Angel says again, yeah, it depends on what you consider close. 1 to 2 hours would be close. The difficulty is, though, that, you know, if you're talking about, like, driving for a couple of hours, it's a 4-hour round trip. To go to a show, then you're suddenly taking, like, you know, it's 6 hours to see a 2-hour show. It's quite a commitment. You got to be really into your musical theatre to make that worth it, you know? That it becomes more of an event. But where I lived previously, which was, you know, genuinely sort of Greater London, like, I'd never say I lived in London, because it was sort of more like Surrey. You can sort of go into London on a whim. Right? Like, if you have some friends that happen to be in London having drinks, you can go and meet up with them, because it was more like, yeah, 45 minutes, 50 minutes on the train. But yeah, but if you're 2 hours away, that becomes more something that you're, like, scheduling in rather than something you do on a whim. That's a blurb. For a small community like mine, isn't the council the body that leads the government? Do I have a mayor? So certainly the village won't have a mayor. Like, the next town over is going to have a mayor, for sure. The council. So, in the UK, there's a weird local government is a mess of bureaucracy. Does anyone remember? Like, what was it? Was like this viral video where this woman was taking over this, like, parish council meeting, but she didn't have the minutes or something, and everyone was, like, yelling at each other. I don't remember the exact. I don't remember who it was. Was it Jackie? Was it Jackie? That's a tin can blurb, so we're looking for southwest again. But yeah, so when you say council, there are two kinds of councils that operate in the UK. Most people, when you say the council, they mean the county council, which is a bunch of councillors that are elected to do local government stuff. So they will do things like... what are local councils responsible for? They'll do things like parking enforcement. They set council tax. They arrange bin collections. Right, that's like the local county council. And then often you'll also have, like, a parish council, which is it's not really a religious thing, right? It's called a parish council. It doesn't really have anything to do with the church as such, but they are a different branch of kind of local government, but they are they are responsible for really, really small scale stuff, like local sports clubs and things like that, right? Now, my understanding is that parish councils get their budget from county councils, and we are talking like small budgets, like, you know, thousands of pounds a year, right? To run like sports clubs, and they'll do like traffic enforcement stuff here and there. So like if someone's been complaining that someone is speeding past their house, they might arrange for a temporary traffic camera to be put there to like mostly not to issue fines, but to more like gather statistics about whether people are indeed speeding in this section of road more than they should, and so forth. But yeah, it's all a little complicated. But yeah, but generally speaking, the main political parties stay out of parish councils, but are heavily involved in county councils. But the one big thing that neither of them do, that everyone assumes that they do, that's like a Bing blurb, the one big thing that neither of them do that everyone assumes that they do is roads. Because I'm pretty sure roads are always done by the Ministry of Transport, which is a national body and is not actually handled by the council at all. As far as I'm aware, like, I might be wrong with all of this, of course. That's like a Bing whoosh. Okie dokie. That's just a Bing now. It's a puzzle we loved so much, we made you do it twice. That is a tin can whoosh. A tin can whoosh. But yeah, there's a big old kerfuffle going on at the moment with... Oh, no, hang on. No, southeast is where we're going. Yeah, as far as local council goes, there is a big old kerfuffle going on in Surrey at the moment, where... Because Surrey is a really, really large county, very rich county, except it's not that rich because it has two... Now, what are they called? They're called boroughs, right? It's got two boroughs within the county that are basically bankrupt, which I believe is like Woking and Spelthorne. And, yeah, kind of super awkward because you've got Surrey, which is like this incredibly rich, incredibly affluent area of the country, and there are two boroughs within that county that have just they've accumulated ridiculous amounts of debt, because my understanding of the situation is that they were they basically took out a whole bunch of loans to build like luxury flats and whatever, banking on like housing being like a good investment in their boroughs, and it, like, house prices in the UK are kind of wild, but like, you know, apparently it wasn't a very good investment for them in the end. That's my understanding of what's happened there, but yeah, it's like super awkward.
Have returned. Additional page. Prison on this forgotten island of Myst. I see that you are. I am called Cirrus. I need all the red pages. I know. Must search and bring. 2 more of the red. I am released, I promise. Don't touch the blue pages. That is where my right. For my wicked brother, he is a man of distorted mind and senses. He disgusts me. Do not release Aknar. Thirst for destruction is not never ending. Bring the red page. Beg you, please release me from this prison. Promise you will be greatly rewarded. Must help me. Help me.
It's so funny because, like, in the we didn't actually see the FMV performances when we did the original Myst. We had the CG ones, but it is kind of funny because, like, Cirrus is so obviously evil. He is so obviously evil. Right. Okay, quick, get your votes in on the chat. Do you want Stone Ship next or do you want Channelwood next? Quick vote. Yeah, I am Cirrus. I am most definitely not evil. Don't touch the blue pages. Bring them to me. Okay. We decided to keep Stone Ship for last. Well, in that case then, Channelwood it is. Now, how does this one work again? So it is... What is it? It's 724 for the safe. Bing. And we have a pack of matches. Wait, hang on. That's weird. So maybe we're supposed to find a match somewhere. Hang on. Cirrus wasn't nearly as convincing as Gen. PWJB suggests the reason for that may be that Gen was portrayed by an actual actor. Actor schmactor, right? let's ham it up a bit more. One thing that I'm really enjoying, I don't know if Aaron would appreciate me saying this or not, and I do not want to disparage the acting ability of anyone involved, but I am really enjoying the FMV sequences in Nia because, like, they do give very strong original Myst vibes because they are quite silly in a way. Not silly, but, like, I don't know, it's they are very sort of, I don't know, they kind of feel very over the top to me. It definitely reminds me a lot more of Rand and Robin Miller rather than Brad Dourif and, you know, Gen. Oh, right, there we go. Oh, oh, look, look! We have an inventory item in the original Myst. Inventory confirmed. How am I supposed to light this? I mean, I suppose technically we've been holding the pages this whole time anyway, right? It's fun seeing someone tripped up by the changes in the remake, but in reverse. Oh no! Well, it's also just the fact that, like, we played Myst 2021, like, nearly 3 years ago now. There's no pressure. There's no pressure in here because it's not lit, right? It's not lit because there's no gas. Surely, is there a gas pipe somewhere that we need to hit? Excuse me, but you look old enough to know how a match works. That is true, yes, but still. The box didn't immediately open. Now if this was Rime, I'd be like, yes, well there's clearly something that needs to be pumping gas into there. So, where's the gas tap? Gen's new Riven journals. I caught one of my assistants thumbing through this journal today. He will certainly never do it again. Have I mentioned I'm evil today? Oh, really? In the remake, you just turn the gas on from the safe. Oh, no. Oh, no. That means there's stuff to do? I wasn't banking on this. James says PSI, one of his least favourite units of measurement. The thumb moves when you're here. So there's like something there, but it's not... PSI... Now what if I... No. Wait, no. No, the handle doesn't go up. The handle only comes down. I was wondering if there's maybe like a hidden compartment inside the safe. But it sort of does not look like it. The thing I like about PSI is that the numbers are sort of roughly... That controls the tree. I don't think that's anything to do with the gas. The thing I like about PSI is that the numbers are kind of, for most applications, sort of reasonably relatable. Like, your tyres being 35 PSI is an easy number to remember compared to whatever that would be, 12.5 kilopascals or something. I don't know. One of my hottest and talking about units of measurement that we don't like, one of my hottest and most controversial takes, so much so that it got me way downvoted on r/unpopular opinions, is that I believe that miles an hour kind of sucks, but I don't think we should replace it with kilometers an hour either. I think we should just replace it with meters per second, because roughly speaking, it all kind of just works. It's roughly speaking just a factor of 2 in it. So rather than 30 miles an hour, you would just say, okay, I'm going 15 meters a second. My argument for why that's good is that 30 miles an hour is some kind of weird, like, fairly it's kind of like a fairly abstract concept, right? Because an hour is quite a long time and a mile is basically impossible to visualize, whereas meters per second is a very easy to visualize speed that you can be going. So if you are traveling somewhere where there are people that might like jump out in front of your car, like near a school or whatever, telling someone that you're going 15 meters a second is actually more likely to make them go, oh shoot, that's actually like not a lot of time to react if someone jumps out in front of my car right now, you know? So yeah, but I'm not expecting any of you to agree with that because like apparently I'm very much in the minority there. Why we have calories? Yes, yes, yes. Kilocalories, to be yeah, to be incredibly exact. Do we use stone as a unit of weight? That is, in my experience, a bit of a generational thing. People who are maybe 10 or 15 years older than me will use stone. But very few people my age and younger use stone in the UK, to be honest. That is my personal experience. That obviously, I cannot speak for all... I can't speak for all areas of the UK, obviously. But most people I know tend to just use kilos nowadays for their own weight. Some people I know will still use ounces when baking, because doing things like, you know, a Victoria sponge being like 4 ounces of this, 4 ounces of that, 2 eggs is like an easy recipe to remember. But even then, most people actually use grams nowadays, even when they're baking. This is a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? It's not guaranteedly anything to do with... it's not guaranteedly anything in that shed, to be honest. It could be anywhere. One stone is 14 pounds. Yes, that is absolutely correct. One stone is 14 pounds. It's not even a very nice conversion, right? 14's a pretty horrible number. Like, I can get behind the logic of feet and inches, and indeed, I have worked in feet and inches plenty of times in the past, because feet and inches are really brilliant if you are trying to make fractions of things. And the fact that you also then measure things in 1/8 and 1/16 of an inch is actually kind of nice. But topological extrusion, marker switch, water turbulent pool. It's not going to be anything down here. Unless there's a switch down here that we have not seen. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. What would they have taken out? It must be something where they've gone, oh, do you know what? Nah, we'll take that out of the remake, because that just didn't work. So, I wonder if it's something which is just not anywhere near the shack at all. It's really interesting seeing me get tripped up on this puzzle. You always wondered why they changed the puzzle for the remake, and maybe this was why. There is no button to make it work, so that makes it 200 times harder. Oh dear. James says, if the 5 miles, 8 kilometers ratio is taken as true, 4 meters a second is bang on 9 miles an hour. Yeah, it's sort of roughly, it's just under half or thereabouts. So the numbers stay reasonably relevant. You can still, like, you have to adjust your speed signs, but rather than your speed being like 60, your speed will be like 30, and it just, people just have to adjust. But everyone who, you know, was denigrating my idea, mostly it was about needing to calculate in your head your arrival time to places. To which I say, oh, hello! To which I say, most people use sat-navs nowadays anyway, and with traffic and whatnot, your sat-nav gives you a much better estimate of when you're going to arrive at your destination than working out, oh, okay, so I'm going 70 miles an hour, and 60 miles an hour is 1 mile a minute, so it's slightly more than 1 mile a minute, so I'll get there in 26 minutes. So most people use sat-navs anyway. 2, it only works on long journeys that aren't urban in any case. But 3, you're fundamentally not measuring distance. If you're worried that much about when your arrival time is, you're fundamentally not measuring distance in miles anyway. You're measuring distance in the time it takes you to traverse the distance, right? Which is actually far more common when people are talking about, like, how far away they live from places. Like, I actually have no idea how far away I live from London, but I do know I live about a 3-hour drive from London. So knowing how fast I'm going in miles per hour actually doesn't help me at all. Unless you know how far it is. So yeah, that's my thesis. That's my thesis on why miles per hour sucks, but kilometers per hour is not really any better. James says, I love the idea of leaving a closed room to find a gas pipe to turn on, hoping the shed doesn't explode when you use the match. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. That's a terrible idea. The problem is I'm not even 100% sure what I'm even looking for. I think I'm looking for a gas tap somewhere. But, like, it could theoretically be anywhere, right? Like, Rhyme certainly had the gas mains on the outside of the building. Like, that looks like a pipe on the side there, doesn't it? I'm assuming we're not going to have any puzzle crossover, though, in the sense that the room that powers the ship that takes you to Selenetic is not going to be involved in the room that takes you to Channelwood. Because all of these puzzles, you know, the clock tower to mechanical, the observatory to stone ship, like, they're all, like, isolated from each other. So I'm assuming I'm assuming the puzzles don't touch, you know? Like cars in a car park, they get very close, but they do not touch, because otherwise their owners get very cross with you. What do I need to do to use a match? Oh, I think Kick's got it. Oh, someone else said, actually, didn't they? Oh, that's dumb. That's dumb. Very funny. Yes, okay. Cool. Oh, very amusing. Oh, right. You need to strike the match. Now, having said that, though, wait. When is Myst set again? Myst is set in... Isn't Myst set in, like, the 1800s or something? When did safety matches first get invented? Because I have a sneaking suspicion that this is anachronistic. You like my idea of the denominator focusing on the driver and the kid the driver is about to hit. Oh. No, we need it up to the maximum, right? Wait. How do you then do this? Wait. So we're trying to get up there. So, do you turn it all the way down? Yes. Yes, here we go, it's coming, Alright, we're in. Big Match doesn't want you to know that matches were a Denis invention. Now this room is an awful lot smaller than it is in the remake, isn't it? If it makes me feel any better, says James, you agree with my miles per hour is bad view since I was a teen, which is well over 10 days ago. Well over 10 days ago. It's like, that's technically correct. The best kind of correct. It's like... yeah. It's like Julius Caesar lived at least 10 years ago. Let's go to Channelwood. Personally, you prefer Robin's canon. 1826 was the earliest strike matches. Oh, yeah, strike matches, but I mean safety matches specifically, because strike matches, you could strike anywhere. Safety matches, what was on the side of the box with the hatching there, is very clearly a safety match strike, not a strike anywhere match. Because strike anywhere matches tend to just have like a bit of sand glued to the side of the box, don't they? (1844) Sweden. Really? That early? Wow. Now Channelwood, if I recall correctly, is one of the larger ages. This was the first one I ever did as well. I need to have a little bit of an explore and a re-remember. Yeah, okay. Because there's this thing with this gas pipe, isn't there? So that's where we started down that way. We've got something busted up over there. And then here you've got a bridge that you need to raise, is it? It would be cool if you could strike a match in VR. Shame they changed it. This has certainly ended up being quite a slow play of Myst. I'm pretty sure the overall time elapsed is going to end up being longer for this version than the remake that we did. What? Hang on, wait. So we've got water flowing into here. So this is flowing. It's all a little bit subtly different as well, isn't it? Ah, wait, can I not touch that? Yes. Right. These valves look different in the remake. I think these are clearer as to which ones are blocking the flow and which ones are enabling the flow. I think in the remake that's less obvious. Right, I think that's a shortcut that we unlocked later, right? I don't hear any water flowing through this pipe, though. I certainly remember in the remake, you could definitely hear the water flowing. Is there something we're supposed to do here? I'm just wondering if some kind of pumping action is required to get the thing to go. I think... Oh, hang on, there's a tap. That'll help. That'll help. Yeah. I reckon in homage to random actions that you have to perform that the game doesn't otherwise prompt you to, I think if I were to ever make a puzzle game, I would have one of those like old-timey hand pumps that you have to pump. And maybe the puzzle would be, oh yeah, no, you got to sit there pumping the water like 10 times before you have pumped out enough water to do the thing. There we go. That'll really throw. We've got Valor's first time chatter. Talaxixian, thank you for the sub. Okay. I think the control for that one is probably up somewhere, right? So, let's move this over here. Now, where is this currently going? Right, so this is currently just going out into the water, which is fine, If I move it round this way... It's a little tricky. There we go. Move it around this way, and then it will come through here, and then we'll pull this cord. Yay! That was a cool little animation. Actually, that was a cool little animation to that. Okay. So that powered that one up. We are going to need this pipe going, though. Oh, right. Good thing we explored that first. Okay, so now we need to go back to probably, I guess, here. No. Oh! There you go. Oh no, not even. No, there's the path that we just put the pipe on. Okay. So actually it's here. Okay, so we can choose to take that elevator or that elevator. Does it matter? Let's take the far elevator first, I suppose. Okay. Wait. Now we can just go. Laurie Sands said, I really thought Atreus had murdered his own sons at the end of the original when playing for the first time and wondered if I'd chosen wrong. Myst 4 certainly takes all that drama away. I think the ending of the original Myst, right, unless it's a real kind of Clockwork Orange style, yeah, you guys all misunderstood the ending. Like, I felt it was pretty clear that, yes, Atreus commits infanticide at the end. But on the other hand, we also know from Riven that... Oh, close the door behind us, of course. We also know from Riven that, like, writing a coherent ending that people get and don't wildly misinterpret is also maybe not Rand's strongest point. Let's put it that way. Cool, so there's the Myst book. Alien says, I feel like Cyan has loosened up on the trapbook's retcon since Riven made a lot of changes but kept trapbooks whilst acknowledging somehow that those trapbooks also had Haven and Spire. Yeah, I don't really worry about the trapbooks too much. Like, it's a pretty soft retcon as far as retcons go. Like, there's a lot about the art that we don't understand and isn't made explicit for us, so you could certainly argue that there's like different flavors of trap book, you know, the kind of book that, again, I mean, if Yisha can write a linking pamphlet that comes with you when you link, I don't feel it's outside the realms of possibility that the kind of book that Akanar and Cirrus are trapped in and the kind of book that Gen are trapped in are different flavours of similar kinds of book. Like, I have never really felt that's a big deal. I do, however, like... Cyan made a statement fairly early that destroying a trap book does not kill the prisoner. Yeah, fair enough. I actually do like Tilaxu Ixian's suggestion that you can headcanon that Atreus wrote his sons back into existence because Catherine missed them. I think actually, like, Atreus could well do that, right? Because we know that it's totally feasible to write versions of Ages that contain essentially the same people, but people with, like, no memories of who you are and stuff because they're technically from a different dimension and whatnot. So, yeah. Like, I also have kind of no objection to that because the only real argument against that being the case is that Atreus would never do that. But, like... wouldn't he? I could imagine it. I mean, we are talking about a chap who has a very, very unusual... a very, very unusual take on what a healthy, rehabilitative environment looks like. But to be fair, right, and I want to be clear, this is one of the things that makes the lore of the game interesting. Like, when I make jokes about Atreus being a bad father and stuff, like, I am kind of joking. I am also kind of being serious, because, like, he clearly was. But, that's not to say that I don't like his character, I don't like his writing. The best characters are flawed characters, right? And I think, actually, one of the great tragedies of Atreus is the fact that by the time Myst 4 rolls around, he knows he's made terrible decisions with Cirrus and Akanar, and he's resolved to not make those mistakes again with Yisha, and then he does anyway? And I think that's really sad, but it's also really great. It's really great writing, you know? It's, Atreus is a man constantly trapped between what he feels he should be for his family in terms of their lives on Myst and leading that quiet life and pursuing the art in quiet contemplation and whatnot, and feeling like he has a responsibility to try and rebuild this lost civilization that he was never a part of. He just kind of feels that he has this, like, calling to do that, I guess. Because maybe he feels that he's the only one who's in a position to be able to do that. And, I mean, some of what you interpret... Now, 100% some of what I interpret into the nature of Atreus' character is not necessarily going to have been intentionally written in, but that's part of how your own culture informs your own writing as an author. And it's one of the reasons why, you know, critical analysis of literature is such an interesting thing to do, right? Because it is possible to take a piece of art and push it beyond the boundaries of what the author may have originally intended for the interpretations around it to be. Where are we going? I think I've gone round in a circle. Wait, no. Have we been to that room yet? Oh no, this is confusing. These are strange and confusing times. Yeah, Yesha becomes Denis Jesus. Trank says, I would think Atreus feels as though this family is responsible for the fall, so in some way he probably feels that dedicating his life to the rebirth is his destiny. Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly. Whoop. Oh, okay, this is a bit weird. We're sort of being locked in to the spiral. It's not really enjoying us turning too much. Man, that's a long staircase. Okay. So I think... yeah, we can open up that shortcut there. Which is nice. We should have brought the lift down. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Go on, up we go, up we go. Cirrus and Achenar weren't original inhabitants of Myst, so transcribing or resetting the Myst descriptive book wouldn't create new copies of them. Yeah, to be fair, it seems to be most easy to do if you know that the person is already on the age that you're manipulating, right? Because ideally, what you'd want is something like... Ideally, what you'd want is something like... what is it? If you're on Myst... Okay, you've got a link to, let's say, Channelwood. Okay, so what you do is you send Cirrus and Achenar here, right? Oh no, do you know what? You could totally do it because he has the Haven. Yeah, he has the Haven. He has the Haven books. Okay, so this is. Do you know what? This could actually be why. This could actually be why Cirrus survived in Spire. Okay. So let's just deal with one of the sons. Let's just say Cirrus, right? So you've got Myst, or rather, actually it's Tamana, but okay, it doesn't really matter. It's Myst, right? And you're going to make a link to Spire, okay? you send Cirrus to Spire, okay? But in the multiverse, there are infinite copies of Myst and infinite copies of Spire, right? Which are all sort of existing simultaneously. So then what you do is after you've sent Cirrus to Spire, you tinker with the Spire descriptive book just enough that your link skips over to some other version of Spire. And if you tinker with the book enough, you'll eventually find a reality where Cirrus is alive and didn't just die on day one, trapped on a tower above a sun. So yeah, okay, cool. I think we solved the mystery, team. I think that's it. That can be our new canonical explanation for how. Shoot. Oh, we need to redirect the water, don't we? We need to redirect the water. Okay, right. That's going to be first thing next stream. But there we go. I think we've solved the mystery of how Cirrus survived on Spire. It's just that's the way it's done because it's the only way it could have happened. You wonder what would happen if he hadn't taught Yisha the art. All it really resulted in was the death of Cirrus and Akanar, since Yisha learned from Kalem later anyway. Uru actually made the idea of rescuing people using tangent ages with a second version of Kadish where he didn't die. That's pretty cool. Okie dokie, we are going to be at the end of the stream today. Before I forget, right, let's throw that into a save file so that we don't lose our progress for next time. Next time we're going to go down the stairs, we're going to redirect the water, and that will take the lift upstairs, and we'll see some really cool stuff about how Cirrus and Akanar kind of made themselves lords of the tree people here. Thank you all very much for coming along to today's stream. Thank you very much to everyone who dropped a sub, particularly to Laxixian for all of the gifted subs. That's really kind for everyone here. And of course, thank you all for ripping yourselves away from Silksong for a couple of hours. I hope you're enjoying it though. I'm certainly also going to be playing it at some point. Maybe we'll do it on stream, or maybe we'll do it after we've finished Ender Magnolia on the Monday evenings. For now though, if you're watching on YouTube, in the future, do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Remember to vote on what you want to see in this stream slot in the weeks coming up. That's over on the Discord, and it's over on the Patreon to all members, including free members. You do not need to pledge any Patreon support to be able to vote on the Patreon poll, and there's a poll on the Discord as well. So check those. Oh no, I can't. Man, how awkward to like lose your voice right at the conclusion. Thank you very much, YouTube in the future. Have a great week. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube live, thank you very much for coming along live. I'm terribly sorry that the stream last week didn't work. I'm glad I managed to get it